The shoulder joint, as the hip joint, is a ball and socket joint, so it's very complicated with muscles pulling in all ranges of motion, so stretching it is just as complicated. I'm going to break it down with certain directions and muscle groups, but think of this as an all-encompassing way to stretch your shoulder girdle. So first we'll start with the traps, and we've already stretched the neck by now, hopefully, but we're going to incorporate sort of more of a rotator cuff position. So you're gonna do the same thing we did with the neck stretch. Tilt your head to one side, and then you're gonna put one hand behind your lower back. Now, a lot of people are probably trying to do this right now thinking, my arm doesn't even go that way. You might be back here, or maybe your arm gets stuck forward. So whatever you can do, just to try to turn your palm behind you, even if it's here, if it's way over here. And if you still can't get there, just turn your palm down behind you, okay? But ideally you're here. You're holding it with your other hand just to keep it in place and tilting your head to one side. And this is going to basically stretch that upper trap and all through your rotator cuff down you might feel this all the way down your arm. Deep breaths here. Tuck your chin, and that should elongate even more, okay? Repeat that on the other side. Just grab the other arm, pull it, tilt your head, tuck your chin. Maybe you need to look over your shoulder, maybe you need to look up, but all of that stretches through your rotator cuff. Okay, so now you've sort of loosened up, and you might even feel that blood rushing back into your arms. You've loosened up the smaller muscle groups, and now we're going to stretch the front deltoids. And this one is also tough. A lot of people have a lack of mobility here. If you're able to, I would like you to interlace your fingers, palms facing each other behind your back. Now what happens here is some people get there, but the elbows are pointing outwards. So the goal is to press the chest out, pull the shoulder blades together, and then try to straighten the elbows until they're in a locked position. So the hands are sort of rotating the elbows in from the shoulder, and this is the ideal stretch position. Now if you're not even close to that, I'm going to ask you to just hold on to a doorway, a windowsill, a table, something, even if it's one hand at a time, and you'll use that as an anchor point to make sure your elbow is pointing up, and then you'll be able to stretch the front of your deltoid. Now as you continue into that stretch and you're holding it and you start to make some progress in your flexibility, keep testing to see if you can grab here and extend the arms totally straight. Okay, so the more we pull the arms away from the body, the more we're going to feel that up in our biceps. So usually when the biceps are super tight, that constricts this position as well. So if you're going to hold on to your doorway or your windowsill at the beginning of learning how to do this stretch, play with the position of your elbow. Is it pointing up or is it pointing down? When you're pointing the elbow down, you're going to feel that a lot more through your bicep. Okay, so that's an effective bicep stretch. If you point the elbow up towards the ceiling, you can see now that this is really hitting the front deltoid more. Okay, so that's a really important place to start stretching through your shoulder joint, because a lot of people tend to be drawn forward. So we want to open up the front of the body and help to bring the arms together behind the back in order to perform other movements. So that's the front deltoid. Now for the rear deltoid, we drag the arm across the chest. Okay, so when you hold the opposite arm, it's holding it in order to let it be passive, and you're pulling across your chest. You can lift up high, you can pull down low. Everybody's different, but the essence of the stretch should be through the rear deltoid and also between the shoulder blades. So as you pull that arm forward, your shoulder blade is pulling away from its partner on the other side. So you want to feel that pull all the way across your chest. And then switch sides. And make sure you're breathing through all of these stretches. I'm talking a lot, so I'm doing a really bad job of being an example for that. But in through your nose, out through your mouth. Every time you exhale, imagine the muscles are relaxing even more. And again, you want to hold each position for at least 30 seconds. 1 minute is better on both sides. Okay, so now you've gotten the front, you've gotten the sides and the back. And now I'm going to think more of the lats, which technically are your back muscle, but they control the shoulder joint, so I'm including them in your shoulder exercise. First, I'm going to show you how to do a standing lat pull. So one arm at a time, arm is going to go up by your ear. Now, this looks like everybody could do that, but you'd be surprised. You might be really tight and your arm doesn't want to straighten out all the way. Okay, so if that's where you are, that's where you stretch. The idea is your other arm is reaching down your leg. You want to look up at this arm and just do your best to straighten it and get it by your ear. Now, if you can get it by your ear, touching your head, then you can start to slide down your leg and feel that pull all the way down the side of your body. If you're not there yet, you're going to stay here, or as you'll see next, you'll either go to a table or your bed, or kneel on the floor and have a ball or something ahead of you, and I'll show you how to do a kneeling lat stretch.